Okay, so let us move on to the next Kandika. Tapasa chiyate Brahma. Please repeat after me.
tapasa
tapasa
chiyate
chiyate brahma
Tatu annam abhijayate.
tattu annam abhijayate
Annat prano manah satyam.
annat
अन्नात्
prano
प्राणो
manah
मनः
satyam
सत्यम्
Lokaha karmasu chamritam.
lokaha
लोकाः
karmasu
कर्मसु
chamritam.
चामृतम्.
So by tapa, by a very hard action, a very difficult, tough action, Brahma grows. Here, Brahma has been taken by commentators to mean this a god, but actually, according to me, it is this universe only. So, this universe now starts growing by the tapa, which Akshara does. With the growing of that universe, tataha annam abhijayate, food is created. Food for all kinds of beings is created. So all the steps of the creation of the universe have been compressed into a single step, right from the Big Bang up to this food for beings being available.
Oh, that means Prakriti is not distinct. It is generating from Brahma is how we receive it here.
No, I am saying that Brahma here refers to the universe, not to
Oh, okay.
Paramatma.
Okay. Brahmanah tapasa jagat chiyate evam.
Correct. So this Brahma grows. So see, there is Paramatma is not growing. It is the universe which is growing, and the tapa is described in the next Kandika. So this tapa is not, God does not use any hands and feet, as we have seen. He doesn't have any arms and legs or anything like that. So this is a resolve, a sankalp which he does, that okay, now I want to create the universe. The time has come. Brahma Ratri is over. Now the universe has to be created. So he does a resolve, and that resolve is called a tapa. So actually, I was looking up this tapa also. One of the, typically it is taken as heating, but the tapa, which is this same uh, meaning, comes in a number of Upanishads and Brahmanas, where it says that he did a tapa, and from the tapa, this universe arose. And there, the form of the tapa is actually tapa Ashwarya. That means the tapa in which you become the lord of something. Okay, so that is the tapa which we should apply over here. That he decided that he wants to lord over now the universe. Okay, he wants to have something to rule over, and so he created the universe. These things you have to take with a little pinch of salt. Okay, they are little poetic. So basically, he realizes that now the Brahma then is starting. Now I have to start creation, and I have to create beings whom I have to monitor and make sure that I give them their karma, bhogas as per their karma. So that tapa, when he does that initial thing, actually, this Brahma Chiyate, this universe expands, also indicates the Big Bang, if you realize. Okay, it is saying that the universe or matter in its primordial shape, Prakriti was lying in a very confined space, and now it starts growing, and it starts multiplying, and it becomes all kinds of different things till it reaches a stage where now food for beings has been created. Once that has been done, then basically beings come into form. So it says annat pranaha. Prana is the life force. So life force is created from that Anna, along with Mana, all the forms of mind. Intelligence is created through that Anna. Satyam. Satyam is again a very yogic word here, which goes back to its root meaning. Satya is, as dhatu, which means to be. So, Satya comes from that which is. So, here, Satya is referring to knowledge. So, that mana is created, and along with that, knowledge is created. And lokaha, that is the why knowledge, actually I should explain that as well. See, you cannot have a being without knowledge. Even the smallest of beings, the unicellular algae, paramecium, amoeba, etc., they have some knowledge without which they cannot exist. So you call something a living being because it has some brains. The brain may not be the kind of very advanced machinery which we have here, but even in that single cell, some intelligence exists.
Uttara, we did a bit of this in the Prashnopanishad.
Correct. Very good. I'm very happy that you guys are really correlating stuff. That is really good. In fact, that is my homework for you. At the end of today, I want you to go back to Prajnupanishad. This was chapter 6 and Kandika number 4. Please go, and then we will do a comparison of these two. What you are saying is absolutely right. What was covered over there is being kind of repeated over here in a slightly different form. So we'll compare the two. So Satyam, by the way, this is my meaning again, and the commentators have said Satyam means the five elements. But I don't agree with the five elements because the five elements themselves are not generated from Anna. Anna is after the five elements you have generated, something has happened, your sun is created, your earth is created, earth has cooled down, water is there, your oxygen, carbon dioxide are available now in the atmosphere, and then now beings can come into play. So that has happened. However, I am just giving you that meaning. Lokaha means habitable worlds. That means habitats. Okay, to put it very simply, habitats now become available. Now beings can come and they can live in places. Karmasu cha amritam, which literally means and immortality in uh, karmas. However, because karma is mentioned, what is subsumed is that along with the habitats, karma is generated. So, because now these beings have come into existence, now they start performing deeds. With these deeds, God has to now start monitoring them. And then in these karmas, there is sukha dukha, plus there is immortality. So not only do you necessarily have to just experience this world in terms of happiness and grief, but you can also have a goal of moksha. So that is why Amrita also is now available. Is now, you can say, is created. It is available for beings to participate in. Okay, so just to recap, by the Aksharas Tap, this Brahma, that is the universe, expands, and it expands to the extent that food for beings becomes available. With that food, pran is generated, that is a life force. The intellect is generated, your knowledge is generated in that, and habitable worlds are created. In those habitable worlds, karma now starts taking place, and with the karma, you have sukh, dukh, and immortality available.
Uttaraji, in this Brahma, is it the same as what we also refer to Pradhan Prakriti?
No, here Brahma is referring to the very large universe.
Okay.
So that is why it grows. When you say Brahma Chiyate, that is, this universe expands. which would not be applicable for the primordial matter.
Ji.
Ma'am, here with Anna, does it mean the food that we grow on the earth?
Grow or not grow. For example, for the plants, the food is in the earth, and things like algae and things, they just take carbon dioxide and sunlight. Like that, there are some very few creatures which take directly some compounds, and that is food for them. Even the earthworm, you can say, eats just soil, but actually it eats organic matter within that soil. But most things eat actually other living things, and these things at the base, they eat the chemicals.
So the primary Anna is actually sunlight, right? Because the plants are creating this Anna is through the sun's
So just
energy.
the sunlight will not be. So you are talking of your Anna, but for the plant, it is most of the, say, a potato is actually not an Anna for the plant. So for the plant, it is the water and the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, which it is sucking up from the soil. That is how it grows.
So is it all the elements were created and then
So
the
here,
basic element?
Elements were created, and the earth was formed. The earth had cooled down. Now you have water on it. You have carbon dioxide on it. Carbon dioxide is very important actually, because
so can we think Anna as a elements here?
plus you cannot forget the state, the condition. If just you have a star in which all the elements are present, then that is not sufficient condition for life to appear. So for life to appear, you have to have the planets, and just like we know that the earth was very hot in the beginning and you could not have any life, so all the elements were already present on earth, but you still did not have life. So you have to have the everything has to settle down and cool down and become available as food now. So that whole part of creation has been all compressed into this one statement, that tato annam abhijayate.
And there's also another statement very popular, Annamai Prana, is that to do something with the same thing? Annavahi, I'm not.
Let us not digress. Let us not digress. We will discuss that point at some another point. But to be very, they're saying, just to give you in short, see, people confuse. Like one more, this thing was that from Anna, Virya is created. So therefore, Virya is actually created outside the body of man. That is absurd. Yes, until you have food, you cannot have life. So that is all that is meant by Annat Pranam Jayate. That Pran is created, therefore you can call Prana Anname. That does not mean there is wheat or something hanging around in your life force. No, the life force is generated out of the wheat which you have eaten. So you have eaten, consumed it, converted it into organic compounds, which now uh, are able to handle this life force, which is called prana.
I'm wondering, Uttara, as children, when we were told God created us or God created the universe and accepted, very simple. Now this is becoming very, very complicated.
But you must appreciate the fact that how it merges with our understanding of science. All other texts of other religions, or even our own religions, which are much later texts, they are so short on facts. Here, you cannot wrong them because it is actually following the scientific process. I am not pushing it onto this, this is how it is written. So that is the most amazing thing, that such ancient texts are giving you the correct scientific way in the facts which we know today scientifically, as this is how the universe has developed. Same thing, Gauri. It means the same thing. Basically, we are saying Annat Bhavati Bhutani only.
Yeah.
That is what Savi is also saying. No, same thing. Prana, when you are saying that
Energy. Energy, no?
beings.
Okay.
Only living creatures have prana in them.
Mhm.
Get it? There is prana means life. It is a
Okay.
living force inside creatures. And the smallest of creatures have prana in it. So if you think of prana as only the outgoing breath and the incoming breath and so on, the pranapan, that is applicable for human beings. But prana by itself is the life force which exists in an amoeba, in an algae, in a paramecium, in what have you. The smallest creatures, all
Yes.
micro viruses, will have that prana. Okay.
And this pran is different from the soul, right? Soul,
Oh, yes,
pran.
yes. Prana is different from the soul. Prana is a material thing. That is why we are saying from Anna, prana is derived. Till you have food, you cannot get this material body. Even a paramecium has a body, a cell. So that cell cannot originate unless you have these chemicals now available which can come together. Okay, so let us go to the next one. Yah sarvajnaha sarvavidyasya
Yes, sarvasya
Yes,
sarvasya
sarvajna.
ज्ञानमयं तपः
Jnanamayam tapah.
तस्मादेतत् ब्रह्म नाम
तस्मादेतद् ब्रह्मणाम
रूपमन्नं च जायते.
रूपमन्नं च जायते.
So if you just take the beginning bit, yah sarvajnaha, he who is all knowing, and sarvavit. So sarvavit, if you take the usual meaning of knows everything, then it becomes equal to sarvajna. So we have to take the other meaning of with, which means which uh, attains. So that which is omnipresent, which is present everywhere, which attains all of space, that's sarvavit. So sarvajna, omniscient, and sarvavit, omnipresent. And then now if you go to the bottom, it says tasmat annam cha jayate. From that, anna is also created. So we are going back to anna. So see this interconnection which is there, and don't take this very literally that this is happening in this sequence. Anyway, so Yah Sarvajnaha Sarvavit, that one who is omnipresent and omniscient, Yasya Jnanamayam Tapaha, whose tapa is the tapa of knowledge. This is what I was telling you, that the next Kandika will describe to us what was that tapa by which the universe expanded. So this is the tapa of knowledge, one of resolve, that okay, now I have to create the universe. And also God knows beforehand what he has to create, so he creates it in that order. So he if he was ignorant, if he did not how to did not know how to go about it, then it would be like us, trial and error, etc. But he already knows what it is that this universe has to look like. So his tapa is jnanamay. It is not kriyamay. It is not an action oriented tapa. So typically ours is a little more on the action oriented, though our tapa is also, as we have seen in Yoga Darshan, it means actually being having fortitude, that sorrow and happiness we treat as one. We do not lose our balance in either case. That is also called tapa. So that is mental. So here it is completely mental. Mental, I would not cannot say mental per se because he does not have a mind, but it is tapa of knowledge. Tasmad etad Brahma Nama Rupam Annam cha Jayate. From that Ajnanamaya tapa, this Brahma, that is this universe. So here, the commentators have taken the Brahma equal to the universe, while in the previous Kandika they have not taken. So that is why I am quite confident that in the previous Kandika also Brahma is equal to the universe only and not Paramatman. So from that Jnanamaya Tapa, this universe, Nama means literally means noun, but actually it talks, the wider meaning is language. So languages of all the beings is created. Rupam, their forms are created. Annam, their food is created. So now, because we have come to describing the being which has Nama, Rupa, and Anna. So that is why Anna is also repeated, because these are the three main things which a being is characterized by what is its language, what is its form, and what is the food which it eats. Okay, so that is why Anna is repeated again. And Nam and Roop are also reflective of beings. Though, of course, it is also applicable for Jada, that is inanimate substances as well. However, here we are talking of Anna. So the Rishi has also said Anna, so that there is no doubt in your mind that we are talking of pranis only, of living things. So when you
Can Nam
read,
be taken as identity?
which one?
Nam.
So Nama is actually, it does
Or beyond
not
that.
reflect your identity. You are called Shanta, but there are so many things that are called Shanta, right? And there is the quality which it refers to, that of being peaceful. So that will also be called Shanta. Anything which is peaceful will, in feminine, will be called Shanta. So, in philosophy, you have to distinguish between what uniquely defines something and what is a guna, as we were talking about,
Guna.
okay, which is an attribute which can be shared by others. So, just like life is an attribute which is shared by all beings, yet they are all different. So, similarly, your name is actually just a unique identifier only for the people around you who identify you as Shanta. But if in the larger scheme of things, it is actually not a unique identifier. And it is reflective of the knowledge of the meaning of the word Shanta. And when you look at that, then the whole, you have to consider all of language. And that is why this refers to actually language. Because you cannot have nouns without a language. And once you consider language, then you have to consider the language of the animals as well, which need not necessarily be so well defined, but it still is a means of communication. So that also is included. And Rupa, we of course have no problem in understanding that all beings have a form. And also all their foods are different. Creatures eat different things. Okay, so I think Raunak, your issue that this could be Prakriti should be resolved. This cannot
Yeah.
be Prakriti. Correct? Okay. Okay, if there are not any more questions, then we can do our Shanti part.
Yes.
Oh, it was briefly visible. It disappeared. Why?
Because I took that Ritu Akshare one.
Oh, it's a different file. Okay.
Are you seeing the correct words? Mantra?
Yes,
Yes.
Bhagini.
Okay, let us say our prayer. Om Yate Rudra Shivatanu
Om Yate Rudra Shivatanu
Raghora Papakashini
Aghora Papakashini
Tayanastanva Shantamaya
Tayanastan Vashantamaya
Irishanta Bhichakashih
गिरिशन्ताभेचाकशीः
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवादः भगिनी. Can I stop the recording?
Yeah.